All right, let's jump straight into this explainer because today's dossier is absolutely wild. We're unpacking this brilliant, hard sci-fi concept about a fictional alien species called the Aurumites. And, forget your standard little green men. These creatures are made entirely, literally entirely out of gold. We're going to dig into the hardcore physics, the chemistry, and the biology that could theoretically make a solid-state, metallic life form actually exist, thrive, and even think. To really get our heads around this, there's this fantastic quote from Dr. Elena Vasquez, the lead scientist in the dossier. When her team first spots these golden beings, they're just totally baffled. Like, how are they even moving? And she hits the nail on the head, pointing out our massive blind spot, because we are looking at them through the lens of carbon-based biology. We naturally expect life to have, squishy things, bones, muscles, blood. But to understand the Aurumites, we have to completely throw out the rulebook and rethink what life can actually look like at the very bleeding edge of solid-state physics. Section 1. The Golden Crucible. Let's look at the violently relativistic birth of their home planet to see how these beings even came to be. Tracing this back, we gotta rewind about 6 billion years. Picture this, 2 neutron stars collide. In literally milliseconds, that insane pressure triggers the R process, blasting out massive clouds of heavy metals. This cosmic forge is what birthed their planet, Aurelia IV. Now here on Earth, gold is super rare, right? But on Aurelia IV, it's as common as dirt. Well, silicone. After billions of years baking as a molten heavy metal desert, the crust finally cooled down just enough to let this incredible solid-state complexity emerge. But right off the bat, there's a massive hurdle, and it all comes down to this number, 3x. Aurelia IV has 3 times Earth's gravity. Think about that for a second. Pure gold is a really soft, dense, malleable metal. Under 3 gravities, a block of solid gold should just pancake under its own weight, right? So this immediately begs the question, how in the world could a 3-meter-tall golden creature even stand upright, let alone walk around? And the environment? It is a complete hellscape for carbon-based life like us. We're talking a constant surface temperature of 400 degrees Celsius, a crushing atmospheric pressure of 80 atmospheres, and air that is just choked with corrosive volcanic gases and acid vapors. Oh, and it's being baked by relentless radiation from a blue giant star. If you or I stepped foot out there, our wet, soft chemistry would boil, dissolve, or just straight up incinerate in a matter of minutes. So life here had to take a wildly different thermodynamic path to survive. Which brings us to Section 2, Biology without carbon. How do these impossible Aurumite bodies actually work at that boundary of solid-state physics? So how do they survive that crushing 3G gravity without collapsing? The secret is a structural phenomenon known as nanotwinning. Basically, instead of being solid blocks of metal, their skeletons are hollow and fractal. At the nanometer scale, the gold atoms are arranged in a face-centered cubic lattice, interspersed with these symmetrical twin boundaries. These boundaries literally block the gold from slipping and deforming. It's like microscopic scaffolding. Through this nanoscale engineering, they achieve the tensile strength of high-grade steel, but they stay incredibly lightweight and porous. Okay, but how do they actually move? No muscles, right? Well, they use this mind-bending step-by-step process called electroplastic deformation. Here's the breakdown. First, the organism sends really precise, high-frequency electrical currents through specific nano-twinned limbs. This current temporarily lowers the mechanical resistance of the crystal planes. The solid metal actually bends, transitioning almost like a liquid. It's super seamless. Then, the split second the current stops, boom, the lattice instantly locks right back into a rigid state. It's this flowing, stepless movement that lets a solid metal creature move with liquid-like agility. No way, right? Now, check out this percentage, 58%. Because gold is such an incredibly heavy element, a bizarre quirk of physics kicks in. Its inner one's electrons are zipping around at 58% of the speed of light. That's not just some random trivia. That relativistic velocity is actually the entire foundation of how they survive. Because those inner electrons are moving so unbelievably fast, Einstein's theory of special relativity comes into play, and the orbitals actually contract. This relativistic contraction makes the gold chemically inert. It gives the Aurumites complete, 100% immunity to all those corrosive acid vapors in the atmosphere. Plus, it shifts the energy gap in their electrons, letting them absorb blue light and reflect red and yellow. So that iconic golden luster, it isn't just for show, it's literally how they absorb energy. That perfectly sets up Section 3, Eating Light and Gravity.
Since they obviously don't have mouths or a digestive tract, we have to look at their totally alien plasmonic metabolism.
Okay, so let's walk through their energy cycle, because it is wild. First, the harsh blue starlight strikes these geometric arrays of gold nanoparticles right on their skin. This makes their free electrons oscillate, triggering what's called localized surface plasmon resonance, or LSPR. Think of it like a tuning fork, but for light. This creates intensely focused local electromagnetic fields that generate high-energy hot carriers, basically hot electrons. This continuous electrical current is then stored deep inside their bodies in these biological quantum dot batteries. They are literally eating the light from a blue giant star.
But wait, it gets crazier. Light isn't their only food. They also feed on the gravity and magnetism of Aurelia 4 itself. The planet has a massive liquid metal core and this completely wild magnetosphere. Thanks to Faraday's law of induction, simply by walking through this magnetic field, the motion of their highly conductive gold bodies induces internal electrical currents. They are converting planetary forces, just moving through magnetism, directly into metabolic energy. It's an absolute game changer.
All right, section 4, crystal memories. Without any DNA or proteins, how do these gangs physically reproduce? They use this mind-blowing process called directed electroepitaxy. They essentially 3D print their offspring. A parent organism will stand in a pool of some liquid metallic medium, maybe mercury or gold halide salt, and channel their specific electrical frequencies right into the fluid. This electrical template pulls gold ions out of the liquid, depositing them atom by atom, perfectly mirroring the parent's topological defects. They're passing down biological pathways honed by centuries of survival purely through electricity. Let's look at this side-by-side comparison for a second, because contrasting our squishy, wet biology with their solid-state physics is fascinating. Where we need collagen and calcium phosphate for our bones, they use nanotwin gold with a specific crystal lattice. We burn organic molecules for energy. They use that localized surface plasmon resonance. We use the DNA double helix to carry our genetic code. They use topological lattice defects in the metallic matrix. And instead of meiosis or mitosis, they use directed electroepitaxy. It's a flawless mirror of life's essential functions, just executed entirely through metallurgy.
Moving to section 5, the planetary mind. Human scientists studying them soon realized these aren't just isolated individuals. They're part of a terrifyingly vast network. Their consciousness is on a completely different level. Instead of our slow chemical nerve impulses, their neurological system relies on surface plasmon polaritons, or SPPs. These are coupled states of electromagnetic waves and electron oscillations traveling along internal gold waveguides. Basically, they process thoughts at relativistic speeds, pure light and electricity. And because it's electromagnetic, if they stand near each other, their fields overlap and they instantly share thoughts without making a single sound. This all culminates in an event known as the Great Chime. When a massive solar storm hits the planet, thousands of Aurumites link together across hundreds of square kilometers. The radiation acts as a catalyst, and the whole chaotic electromagnetic noise of the planet synchronizes into one colossal mind. They become a planetary computer, a conscious, self-organizing metallic web.
Finally, section 6, waiting for us to oxidize. This brings us to the profound tragedy and major perspective shift of first contact. The crucial turning point happens when humans send down an observation probe. The Aurumites approach it, scan its silicon processors with their electromagnetic fields, and reply. We send them prime numbers. They reply with a 3D visual model of water and a hydrocarbon chain. They instantly understand what we are. But here's the thing. To beings of perfect metallic order and clean relativistic electron flow, a human is just a highly reactive, short-lived, chaotic wet soup. Which leads to Dr. Thorne's incredibly humbling realization: they're waiting for us to oxidize. Think about that. To these eternal, unyielding, stable beings, humanity is just a temporary flash of decay. We rust, we rot, we oxidize. They have zero need to fight or conquer us, because from their perspective, in a cosmic blink of an eye, our carbon bodies and our iron cities are just going to crumble to dust entirely on their own.
So I'm going to leave you with this question to chew on long after this explainer ends. In a universe of eternal metals, are we just a fleeting spark? We always assume carbon-based life is the main character of the cosmos, but looking at the Aurumites, maybe we're just a temporary chemical anomaly in a universe that truly belongs to the metals.
Please like and subscribe.